Welcome to the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting in the starting line chat line way over there. Starting line chat line brought to you by the Starting Line Counseling. StartingLineCounseling.com for all the information there. We're in the Diversified Lender Studio. Tahj Brooks is back. Carson, what are your thoughts on that?
We kind of talked about it last week, right? On Friday. What are the odds if Tahj Brooks were to say the Matador Club comes up with a little bit of cash and says, "Hey, Tahj, here's what we're willing to give you. Are you willing to come back to college for one more year?" And I really think that was something that Tahj had planned on happening because of what he's been told is what his draft stock is. I think that you've seen a lot of people talking about how does he translate to the next level? How does all this happen? And Tahj listened to it and he made a good decision for himself, both financially and athletically. I think that one more year of him showing that he can be a feature back and do things of that nature and be consistent and have another year where he runs for almost 1,500 yards, I think serves him better than having a great year this year, going into the draft, maybe getting drafted, maybe not, and being a free agent signee and then having to go earn a spot at a training camp. If you can go and you have two 1,500-yard seasons, it's hard for NFL scouts and front office people to say, hey, this guy's not consistent enough if he's doing that 2 years in a row in a Power 5 conference. So I think it's a good move for Tahj. I think it's a monetarily a good move, and I think it's also his career-wise a good move for him as well.
Yeah, if Tahj, Tahj on some NFL draft websites and everything else listed around a 5th-round pick. If he's 4th to 6th round pick, let's say, or even 7th round, if he's a for sure draftable commodity, and we're talking money here. If you don't like money talk, fast forward in the show when you're rewatching. But it's easy to talk money when Tahj Brooks gives his announcement, the Wolf of Wall Street video on Twitter, and then he responds to his own tweet and says, "Thanks, Matador Club."
Yeah.
Basically saying, "I'm coming back for money." And then the Matador Club quote tweets his original Wolf of Wall Street video, "I'm not leaving." And they say, "We're matching $100,000 from now to the bowl game. If you donate, we'll match it up to $100,000." I don't know if that's total or surely that's total $100,000.
Yeah, I think that's per donation though, right? Like if someone donates 5,000, they're matching 5,000. If someone donates 20, but is it up? Like you're saying that it's up to 100,000?
I think if $100,000 is donated this week,
they'll match it. But if it goes over $100,000, they'll just donate 100,000.
But I think that's total. So if 100 people donate $1,000, they'll match that 100,000.
I think in the Texas Tech community, that's very doable.
Regardless, to me, Carson, that means Tahj Brooks is making at least $200,000.
Yeah, I think it's at least $250,000. Yeah.
Now, if you are on the practice squad of an NFL team, you make about $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a full-fledged rookie on the roster, you make league minimum $650,000, $700,000. To me, if you're coming back, your guaranteed money is at Texas Tech for Tahj Brooks. Your offense this year, close to the top 5 rushing leaders of all time at Texas Tech returning. That money's got to be in between $300 and $700 to return. And if that's the case, if you're paying established players like that and not, freshmen or unproven players, I'm all for it. I mean, that is well spent money in my opinion.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, and especially around those numbers. I mean, I think you're somewhere from like you said, 300,000 to 700,000, somewhere in there is the sweet spot for how much they're going to be giving Tahj Brooks and putting in his pocket. And And the guy, you know what, for people that don't understand it and are going to have a hard time with coming to grips with a college kid making that much money, he's earned it. I mean, if you tell me he hasn't earned it, then you have been hiding under a rock and don't know how college athletics works or has worked in the last 50 something years. It's just now is legal to pay these guys what they're worth. Um, and you're seeing that happen across college football now and across college athletics, more so in football because that's where the money is. But I think this isn't a first. It's not going to be a last. It's more of a theme that's going to continue and actually boost the college game because you're not going to lose guys like a Tahj Brooks, like a Trevor Etienne that's transferring from Florida, where he easily could have gone into the NFL draft as well, but he's going to transfer somewhere and make some money too off of NIL. So we're talking about a huge difference in what the college football landscape looks like now versus what it looked like years ago, where guys would leave to go to the NFL to make the money. Now you're going to find some of the better players in college football staying that aren't, top 2 or 3 round draft picks. I think you're going to see guys stay and try and boost their stock over another year. It's not like baseball where, Rob, you go as a junior, and if you're draft eligible as a junior, you're going to go and get drafted, whether it's going to be even if you're not a top round guy, because as a senior, your draft stock goes down in baseball because they don't have to draft you high. There's no leverage for you anymore in that way. Football's completely different. Completely different. I think one more year of maturity, one more year of playing it, especially at the Power 5 level, and having a great year like Tahj Brooks had this year. If he has the same year next year, like I said, there's no denying that he's a consistent running back and he could do that in the NFL. They're just not.
But there's like, I don't know, it's 20 guys, 20 draft eligible, really draftable guys that are going to stay in college football. It's not like there's 1,000 of them.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to run out of guys to draft.
No.
But Etienne, especially at the running back position, that is not valued in the draft in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, because it's
really not valued in the NFL anymore. The running back position.
Yeah, it's a 5-year position at the NFL level right now,
and you don't really get a second contract.
No.
So why not stay another year at college and make money here, guaranteed money?
Yeah,
especially at the running back position. Did you see Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma announcing he's coming back?
I did not see that, but
did you see his B movie with B movie star Brian Bosworth, where he puts on a fur coat and gets in a Lamborghini or something, and drives around after the Boz passes him the keys?
I did not see that, but it sounds. I'm gonna have to go look it up now on X or whatever it's called.
So the SEC, he's driving into the SEC. He says, "I'm not leaving either." So that level of player at those positions, running back, linebacker, where there's a dearth of people vying for those positions, they're going to return, and that's the level of guy, that 4th through 6th, 7th undrafted free agent guy is going to think twice about coming back. Now, there's not NIL money for everyone. And it's not like every senior is going to come back and every draftable guy. It's not how it is. But more draftable guys are going to stay in college.
Yeah.
And Tahj Brooks and Stutzman are prime examples of that.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot more opportunity for guys that are seniors that have no more college eligibility left. There's going to be a lot more of those guys that get an opportunity in the NFL because of things like this. You're going to get 30 or 40 more guys that may have not gotten drafted as a senior. They're going to get an opportunity because of it. And it has that trickle down effect, right? It becomes one of those things where a junior takes himself out of the mix of the NFL draft, or a redshirt sophomore, whatever you want to call it. But, whatever those guys, they're draft eligible and they say they're going to come back for another year of school. Now that opens up a draft spot for a guy that probably wasn't going to be drafted. So that changes the life of that young man. So in reality, it's helping not just one, but 2, 3, 4, 5 players down the road. Now that's just one example. It's not going to happen all the time, but it just is what it is. Like Tahj Brooks not being in the NFL draft this year opens up a draft spot for somebody else, right? It puts another running back that may have not gotten drafted above Tahj Brooks, puts him up in that draft eligible and in that talk now of being drafted for a kid that maybe it may have been a senior. I don't have an example of it off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, that happens as well, where it's not just the kid going back to school in quotations, back to play football for a school. It doesn't just help him going back and making that NIL money. It's helping somebody else in their pro career and maybe, pushing them along a little bit, because if you're a drafted guy, it's a lot different than being a undrafted free agent who they just signed to a mini camp deal. If you're a drafted guy, they're going to put a little bit more stock into you because they've got a little bit more involved into that scenario with you. It's a difference in it's a drafted player versus undrafted free agent.
So it is Overreaction Monday. If you have an overreaction, you can put it in the comments section over there. The starting line, chat line. Peep the hat. Overreaction here is that Tahj Brooks, let's say, gets to second all-time leading rusher for Texas Tech. He's at 29.57 today. Let's say he goes for 100 in the bowl game. That's 31.57 or 30.57. That would be about 100 behind Tarian Henderson at 6th, about 300 behind DeAndre Washington at 5th. So top 5 seems doable. And if you're at 3,000, it's going to take about 1,100 yards to be the all-time leading rusher, which is at Texas Tech.
Byron Hansbard. Yeah. Bam Morris is number 2 on that list.
Bam Morris is number 2 on the list. So that's
You're talking about 2 guys that won the Doak Walker Award right there as well.
Bam Morris is 4th.
Is 4th. Okay.
Give me the top 5. Byron Hansbard, number 2 with 4,066 yards.
You're asking me number 2?
Yeah, just give me the top 5 now. You tried to guess. Yeah, let's do it. So
the Golden Palomino is number 2. I don't know.
He's number 12.
He's number 12. Wow. So they didn't run the football that much with Donnie Anderson.
So
of course, he only played 2 years at Texas Tech. Donnie Anderson. How many years?
Another guy from the 90s in the top 5.
Man, names start. You know me.
You can do it.
Names. I'm not good with names.
He's got a Heisman name. Oh, that's a good hint, man. Ricky Williams.
Oh, Ricky Williams. Okay. Yeah, Ricky Williams, number 2. I forget about Texas Tech Ricky Williams, man.
He's number 3. Number 2 from the 80s. He had a son that went to Texas.
Oh, James Gray. Yeah.
James Gray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tahj.
His son's still coaching in the NFL.
Chase says Tahj stayed for the Adidas gear.
It's not a bad deal. He
Tahj
may get an Adidas deal out of it.
Hey, if he gets 100 to 200 in the bowl game, he is really primed to get 1,200. He's going to need 1,100 yards to be the all-time leading rusher. And barring injury, he will do that next year. Because if they're bringing him back, they're using him, and they're using him from day one.
Why wouldn't you?
There's no issue with that. Joey this week saying, "Oh, I wish we would have figured out sooner how to use him." Yeah, we do too, Joey. Let me do this. Oh man, I had a thing to say, and then I read that Adidas comment and laughed. What was I gonna do
about the leading rusher? Is that what you were going for?
We were. I don't know. Let's move on to Jalen Conyers, the transfer portal commitment, who wanted to be here from day one, chose Texas Tech over Georgia and OU. He could have returned home to OU. He had been there to start his career. I didn't think that was going to happen, but Georgia to replace Brock Bowers would have been a good move. They used the tight end, but he comes here My overreaction Monday is that they promised him some quarterback play, some gimmick quarterback play, some read options, a chance to throw the ball like he was at Arizona State. They promised him a role like that. He is what Donovan Smith could have been this year, and he's coming in to play tight end. I love it, and this is a huge pickup for Texas Tech. But it also tells me one of Mason Tharp or Baylor Cup not coming back next year.
Baylor Cup, I don't think is coming back. Mason Tharp will be back. He's only a junior. So
I don't know. He missed some time in the middle of the year because of personal issues. I
that's
just
fair.
don't know.
Baylor Cup was a senior. I don't know that he has another year of eligibility left.
That could be true.
And you have
I never know what a senior is anymore.
That's a fact.
Senior,
that's a fact.
Oh, we got super seniors. We've got COVID years. We've got medical red shirts out our ass. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I mean, you have the Esparza kid that was on the roster this year. He's a 6'4" tight end. He was a redshirt freshman this year. And then you have the recruit Alex Lyons, I think is his name. He's a 6'4" tight end from Garden City Community College.
Yeah.
Another tight end. And then coming in with Conyers, I think Tharp will be back. I haven't seen anything to the contrary to believe he won't. But you're right. He's been injury prone. Some things have been going off the field things. It'll be nice, but you do have another tight end in this recruiting class as well. A youngster, not the JUCO transfer, but one more kid that can either be a wide receiver, tight end mix.
Yeah.
He's 6'4.5", about 225, 230. They can either put muscle on him or take some pounds off of him to make him a wide receiver.
Oh, they'll put it on him.
Yeah, I guarantee they'll put it on him. But yeah, I think tight end wise, you'll be fine next year, especially Jalen Conyers. And I think you're exactly right, Rob. He had 22, 23 carries or something like that this year for Arizona State. He scored a touchdown on those carries. A lot of the read option, it was, the belldozer type stuff down near the goal line or in short distance situations. He did have a long rush of like 40 yards this year, I think.
Yep.
So I do think that that's going to be something that you put in to the mix here as well. You have a commitment as well and we're talking about, different quarterback runs and things like that. Obviously you have the commitment from Cameron Brown from last week, the University of West Georgia preferred walk-on commit that he'll be a quarterback. He was the Division II, that conference's quarterback freshman of the year. You might see some quarterback run stuff from him as well in this offense. And then you have a kid from Austin Crockett High School. He's listed as a safety. Cameron. Oh man, I was looking at all the recruiting coming into over the weekend, just doing a deep dive on recruiting. He's not listed as any. He doesn't have any stars. He's listed as a safety. He was a first team all district player, but the district MVP on the offensive side, played quarterback at Austin Crockett and safety. But he didn't throw the ball a ton at Austin Crockett, ran a lot of RPO, but if you go and watch his film, you'll love what you see. Very athletic young man, very fast, flashy, quarterback run game. If you wanted to do it, you could with this young man. He's got that ability and you don't feel too bad. Let's put it this way. I think he's a better option than Jake Strong.
Cameron Dickey.
Yeah, Cameron Dickey. Thank you.
That running back.
Yeah, running back. He's a dual threat kind of kid. I mean, he can play on the defense or the offense. We'll see what he does. Athlete is what he should be listed at. But just watching his film, I wasn't real familiar with him until I started watching some film and doing a little deep dive on him. But it got me excited to watch his film, seeing an athletic kid like that. They can play all sorts of positions for you. He's one of the kids that in this recruiting class that's very highly touted, the number 1 recruiting class in the Big 12 right now in the class of 2024, the number 21 recruiting class in the country in the class of 2024. We've never seen this type of recruitment being done on the South Plains here at Texas Tech. We've never seen this ever before. You're the number 4 recruiting class as far as transfer portal goes in the Big 12, the number 14 overall in the country as far as the transfer portal goes. I think that says a lot about what Joey McGuire and his staff have done as well. And you could see this, that transfer portal class move up as well in the next week or so with some of the offers that they have out there. You picked up a punter commitment, one of the best punters in the FCS this last year. He was a semifinalist for the punter of the year in the FCS. That's
Weber State.
yeah, from Weber State. What was his name? I wrote it down. Jack Burgess, Australian punter. And we know Australian punters, Brad Wings of the world. Those guys are really good.
Yeah. An Australian punter for the 49ers yesterday, get up to 20 miles an hour on a fake.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty. He was hauling, dude.
He was.
Yeah, pretty quick. You know, those Aussie rules football guys, they don't mind contact. They have contact without pads in Australian football. So but yeah, a guy like that who averaged 47 plus yards a punt this year. Austin McNamara, for those of you that care about this number, Austin McNamara averaged 46.5 yards a punt. So this guy had a better average per punt with almost the same amount of punts that Austin McNamara did. Now that's, I don't know.
Altitude.
Yeah, the altitude in Salt Lake City and in Utah, Weber State, but still a pretty good punter. Something that Coach Kenny Perry talked about last week. Whenever you have, obviously Austin McNamara won't be coming back. He'll have a chance at the next level as well. But then you lose the transfer portal. Your other punter, Brooks Honor, that left.
Who I thought was a linebacker this whole time.
He's a punter.
I never knew.
Yeah. Well, you didn't need a backup punter, so that's why you didn't know. But
I was on the sideline dancing around. I thought he was a linebacker. He's a punter.
He was the juice guy on the sideline.
I was like, that guy's never going to play. He's tiny, but he was a punter.
Yeah. But so I think that you actually improved upon what you could have had with him versus what you're going to get with this new guy. We'll see, but it's nice to have a punter and not be wondering who's going to be that guy.
Punter.
Yeah, an experienced guy.
I did see he went viral last year because his deep snapper snapped it into the end zone 4 times in one game.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough. And that's not your fault right there.
No, it was way over his head. He was mooning him.
Deep snapper is the most important position, man.
How do you not replace that kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
You have a bunch of at Weber State. You probably don't have a bunch of deep snappers on the sideline.
Probably not. Probably not a ton of guys out there at Weber State that are wanting to deep snap. But yeah,
you also got a commitment from a transfer from the 2020 class. I believe he is a senior. Fairmont State.
Yeah, Jovan Jackson. Yeah,
Jovan Jackson.
Yeah, he's a safety. He originally committed to Tulane. Was a freshman at Tulane during the COVID season. Whatever reason didn't work out for him there. He transferred to Fairmont to play the last couple of years there, and he's got 2 years of eligibility left, though I think, with that COVID season. So he could technically end up playing 2 years at Texas Tech. We'll see if you see him on the field. He's not one of those guys that's a highly touted transfer portal guy by any means. He doesn't have any stars or anything like that. But, a safety commitment. You've seen a couple safeties, a couple defensive backs go on the transfer portal. You've also given out a offer to one of your top 4 recruits in this class. His brother, the 4-star recruit of yours, his brother, he's at Austin P. He was just offered by Texas Tech this week.
Who's Ron Jackson's brother?
No, let me look at the recruit. I'll tell you whose brother it is here in just 2 seconds. I had it pulled up. Now I don't. It is Peyton Morgan's brother.
Oh,
yeah. The Weiss, the 4-star defensive back from Leander Weiss, his brother.
Wide receiver. I think
his brother's a defensive back, I believe. Or he might be a wide receiver. I don't know. But anyway,
Peyton Morgan, when he tweeted about the offer, and he said the toughest guy he ever covered.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Peyton Morgan, I wouldn't be surprised to see him commit.
Yeah, it's a family affair here.
Come play with his little brother, be back in the state of Texas. From Austin P. Austin P's head coach is going to UTEP, so his head coach isn't there anymore. So you could very easily see Peyton Morgan's brother coming to Texas Tech. That adds another role. He was offered, and he did specify as a preferred walk-on offer from Texas Tech. But regardless, still another role that you can fill right there. Obviously, the guys like a Peyton Morgan, he has the ability to play right away as a true freshman. Do you
especially
want
in
that?
the secondary. Yeah,
Yeah, especially in the secondary. It's already young enough. Why not play him in the secondary? And we talked about that a little bit last week. Is guys like the Peyton Morgans of the world? I think one of the only guys that you won't see. I don't know that you'll see Cheta Ophil, the young man from
yeah.
where's he from? He's the edge rusher from Garland. Yeah, Saxey. There you go.
Okay.
Garland, Saxey, same thing.
Yeah.
They're both right there together. But yeah, I don't know that you'll see him a lot next year, just because an edge rusher is a bigger deal than he may
Hey,
have to put on a few
say
pounds.
Adedire or Spencer this year, and you've seen him in back-to-back classes burn a red shirt for an edge rusher because of depth issues.
Very good point.
So,
I
no, there.
and that's you can get really excited about this recruiting class when you really just dive through it, which I have the last few days. Even some of the 3-star kids that you have signed, I think they're going to pay some big dividends for you, especially a couple of the defensive linemen that you've signed. And then obviously one of your big needs is offensive line. I think you're going to see a couple offensive linemen through the transfer portal commit either this week or next week.
Yeah.
Especially after the bowl game. I think this week, obviously, everybody's focused on Cal. It's game week, so you'll see it. I don't know that you'll see a ton of recruitment news coming out this week, but you'll have a lot coming out next week. Whenever every single coach after the bowl game is going to fly somewhere and be in somebody's house every single day next week when it's not game week. I think there's a plus to having a bowl game this early, and there's a minus to having a bowl game this early. Obviously, the plus is you get to go out, hit the recruiting trail right before National Signing Day, the early signing period here in December, which is huge. You get to be in their house. Your season's over. You get to go straight into recruiting for the next 3 days, right after the bowl game, right before its signing period.
Yeah.
Get some of these guys to commit that are committed to solidify that stuff, which I think is huge.
If you can hammer Cal, you can say we just beat a Big Ten team. Oh no, an ACC team.
ACC team, yeah.
An ACC team, and we're moving forward. Now, you need to. You need to beat. You need to beat them.
Yeah, 7-6 feels a lot better than 6-7.
Michael's overreaction today is the Dallas Cowboys are the second best team in the NFL, and the Eagles are overrated. You can't have both, Michael. Either you beat a really good team last night, and that proves you're the second best team in the NFL, or the Eagles were overrated, and the Cowboys win didn't mean much. I think the Eagles are a really good team, and the Cowboys pantsed them on national television. But they are nowhere near the 49ers, and I think the 49ers have proved that. The 49ers are on trajectory to be one of the greatest teams of all time. Just based on analytics and statistics, they're up there with like the 2007 Patriots, who went undefeated until the Super Bowl.
That's high praise.
I'm just telling you what the numbers are saying.
The hardest thing I have, and I wasn't prepared for the NFL stuff this early, but and I had my stats pulled up and then I clicked off on them. But the 49ers, in my mind, have been the best team in the NFL. Yes, I agree.
They just crapped their pants for 3 weeks for some reason.
But yeah, those 3 weeks just still blow my mind. How you
lost
to the Bengals, you lost to the Vikings, and you lost to the Browns.
Yeah, Debo and CMC weren't there.
Yeah, so you're telling me if McCaffrey gets hurt, they're screwed.
Yeah.
But fully healthy, this team is, lights out, very good. Yeah. You're talking about a team that absolutely just blew out this Philadelphia team a week ago, 42-19. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
They murdered the Cowboys too, yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen in the NFL. And murdered the Cowboys they put the Cowboys to sleep real early and put up 65.
No.
How many did they put up that game?
42, less than the Eagles.
42. Okay. There you go.
Easy there, Cowboy.
Who scored 65 this year in the NFL?
The
Somebody did.
Dolphins scored
The
7.
Dolphins. There you go.
7.
There you go. 70. There you go.
70-20. The Bears.
And then,
Broncos.
but the win last night for the Cowboys, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's a huge win, especially intra-divisional win that nobody thought. Yeah, everybody thought the Eagles were going to win this division, and the Cowboys weren't.
The Cowboys were favored last night, and they were heavily bet. Lots of people thought they would win last night.
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on. Dak's playing like an MVP. 6-1 in the last 7. I told you that, didn't I?
Yeah,
How good was Dak? How good was Dak this weekend?
He was good. He was really good.
He was really good.
I'm still a Dak Prescott skeptic because I don't think he's consistent enough. That's the only reason I haven't ever thought Dak was the MVP guy. But if he keeps this, if he can play like this the rest of the season, yeah, he's the MVP. And the Cowboys might win the division.
I'm gonna give you Dak, Brock Purdy, Tyreek Hill. Who would win? There's a comment there I'm gonna get to here in a second. Who would win the MVP today? Tyreek Hill. Why?
Brock Purdy because he's on the best team. That's usually how they give it, right? Like that's what they do.
But he doesn't do anything special. He just
I agree
and throws 2-yard passes for
completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. You're not finding any argument for me there. But
Brock Purdy is incredible.
It's always the best player on the most valuable team. That's what it comes down to.
But when his weapons were hurt, they did not look good at all.
I don't have an argument for you because I'm just going with what I think will happen.
Brock Purdy is Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma. He is schemed to throw to wide open people.
Throw it up and let them go underneath and catch
wide open people.
Yeah.
Do you trust him come playoff time? I think the 49ers are going to be in the Super Bowl, so I don't trust the Cowboys now. But why? It's not like, I don't trust the Cowboys because they're the Cowboys and they're going to cowboy it up. No, the 49ers are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. Everybody has talked over the last few years how the AFC is the division to beat and the AFC is the favorite to win the Super Bowl. The NFC is the hardest division in football, is the hardest conference in football this year. The AFC is good. Yeah. The Chiefs look very weak right now.
It's the Ravens and the Dolphins in the AFC.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Dolphins and the Jaguars really have been playing pretty well too for most of the year too. But the NFC is a much stronger league than the AFC this year.
The Jaguars just got to be by the Browns.
Yeah, the 49ers got to be by the Browns too. So the Browns just beat good teams. They can't beat the bad teams.
Joe Flacco versus the 49ers in the Super Bowl for a second time. How about that?
There ain't no way that will happen.
Joe Flacco is elite, man. Overreaction next year, we'll have the best lineup since Harrell, Crab, Leong, and Woods.
I mean, that's putting a lot of faith in a true freshman.
That's an overreaction to me, yes.
Yeah, it's putting a lot of faith in a true freshman wide receiver. A lot of faith in a couple of wide receivers that didn't do much this year either. And faith in you putting together an offensive line that's good.
Who's the Leong in that? I know Crab is Micah Hudson.
Yeah. I don't know who would the Leong be? Coy Aiken?
Dre McCray, Coy Aiken.
Dre McCray's too short to be Lau Leong.
Brady Boyd.
Jordan Brown could be a Lau Leong. He's shorter than Lau was, but he could be that guy who goes up and catches balls and
then obviously
does all those things.
I think Tahj Brooks is better than Shannon Woods, but
fact.
Man, that's a lot of pressure on Baron Morton too. I want to see healthy Baron Morton for a full season. I want to see a quarterback healthy for a full season. Period.
Yeah. The last time you had a quarterback healthy for a full season was Graham Harrell.
Close.
Who was it? Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
He wasn't even healthy all season, though.
Technically, Shimanek was the last one that was healthy all year. He just got in the final game and then came back and won.
True. Yes, he did. Led the comeback.
You've not had a healthy quarterback since you benched Shimanek while healthy. That's the Shimanek curse.
It's a fact. It's a Taylor Potts curse. Started with Taylor Potts and Sheffield. But yeah, that's
The elf to McRae. McRae is Eric Morris.
McCray's a little faster.
Little...
Talking about Eric Morris, Cam Ward still in the transfer portal, has not yet committed to a school. I'm sure it's hard to commit to a school when you got offers from every single person
He's
that
got to
needs
go
a
to Ohio
quarterback.
State, right?
I think Ohio State's the place he ends up at. But, I mean, he fits perfectly with what Ryan Day wants to do on offense, right? Like, he is the prototypical Ohio State quarterback.
More than Kyle McCord, yeah.
Yeah, McCord's already committed to where did he commit to? Like,
no, he took a visit to Nebraska. I don't think.
Oh, he took a visit to Nebraska. Okay.
Commit.
I saw
I've not been following Kyle McCord.
Neither of yeah, his transfer portal news. No, I haven't either. I did see but yeah, Eric Morris originally. Cam Ward was an under-recruited kid out of high school. This is how crazy high school recruitment numbers are. Cam Ward was nothing to recruit coming out of high school. He was an Incarnate Word. Eric Morris gave him his only Division I offer to go to Incarnate Word and play for Eric Morris. He was the Southland Conference Player of the Year his freshman and sophomore years. His sophomore year, he was the Player of the Year. Led Incarnate Word to the FCS playoffs for the first time. Went to Washington State with Eric Morris because Eric Morris was the offensive coordinator. And now, obviously, Eric Morris went to North Texas this year. Cam Ward stayed at Washington State to play one more year, and now he's in the transfer portal. He will not end up at North Texas, I'll guarantee you that. No. But Cam Ward has gone from virtually unknown kid from West Columbia, Texas, an unheard of kid coming out of high school with no offers, to being, I think, in my mind, the top quarterback in this transfer portal class.
Yeah.
And a kid who's got a bright future ahead of him. And it could be a front runner for the Heisman Trophy from next year. He could be the Jaden Daniels of next year.
Just speaking of quarterback transfers for no reason, did you see Oregon?
Yeah. Did you see who committed to Oregon?
Collected Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
And now they're going after the UCLA transfer who might go to Michigan because he wants to sit out a year.
What I'm wondering is who Oregon State's going to play at quarterback, because their true freshman quarterback that played a lot this year, he's going to Michigan State following his head coach.
Yeah.
And DJ Uiagalelei is also in the transfer portal. Where does he end up? Does he go play for Chip Kelly at UCLA? Would that be a good fit for Uiagalelei? I mean, where do you go? Does he go to USC and try and play for Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln's only got a freshman coming in that's supposedly really, really good, 5-star kid?
Yeah.
But would you rather have a 6-year guy who's been around the game a while? I don't know. I don't know where DJ Uiagalelei ends up. Does he go back to Clemson?
Who was USC? No. Who is USC going after? I thought it was weird.
I mean, they had that 5-star kid that's the quarterback recruit.
No, but they were looking at a quarterback that I thought was a weird fit. I don't remember who it was now. It wasn't Cam Ward. Some I don't know. Let's see. All right. Man, I wish I could remember what I was trying to say earlier.
I wish you could too. That'd be cool.
That would have been really good. Oh, all right. So Tahj Brooks is back. Basketball plays Oral Bob this week after a weekend off. They've got 6 games left in the non-con.
Yeah, before conference play, yeah. 5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Are they 6-2 or 5-2? If they're 6-2, they have 5 games left. I think they have 5 games left. Regardless. The basketball is basketball in Cambridge, out for the year. We talked about that. Tough news for Texas Tech. Kyron Lindsey, we'll see. quite a bit more now this week.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see. I mean, obviously, he shot it well, and it was against Omaha. But now
Kerwin
I just yeah, Kerwin Walton. Thank you. You
Yeah, but
said
not
Kyron Lindsay. I said
not,
Kyron Walton.
not at the 5.
No, not at the 5. But you could see Jennings coming and playing a little bit more, some minutes actually
Have to
now because of the Cambridge injury as well. So Robert Jennings could very easily find himself on the floor, even though the coaching staff doesn't think he's ready yet. But there's only one way to really get you ready, and that's play minutes. That's what it comes down to. Kyron Lindsay was kind of the same way. He wasn't ready, but now he's going to have to play.
Yeah. 5 games left until you storm the Capitol on January 6th in Austin. Oral Bob, Vanderbilt this weekend, doubleheader with the bowl game. UT Arlington, Sam Houston, North Alabama, and then Texas. Number 19, Texas, by the way, who I think is a little overrated. And then January 17th and 20th and 27th, that 3-game stretch. Really the 4-game stretch, Kansas State, Houston, BYU, Oklahoma is going to be brutal.
Yeah, all of those teams are ranked in the top 25.
Yeah,
except for Kansas State. Yeah. No. And Kansas State just they're having to go through I don't know what do you want to call it. I mean, it's been a guy that hadn't been he's been with the team, but hasn't been playing. But now he's dismissed from the team. Is that going to be something that affects? I don't know. I don't know what it'll do with Kansas State, but I think Jerome Tang's team will end up being a pretty good Big 12 basketball team. I think it's just, there's some other things they've been dealing with. Now that that's gone and they can just focus on basketball, I think they get better.
Is Jackson Knox coming back? I would assume so. He had a disgusting knee injury, right? In the last against Texas, he tore everything in his knee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to come back from, that's for sure. But
he said, "Welcome to the team" when the punter committed. So
yeah,
I'm assuming he'll be back. Not often you get deep snapper questions on the pod.
It's true.
We love our deep snappers. Don't we have a 5-star long snapper in the wings next year? You know, when Matt Wells got here, it seemed like he recruited 6 or 7 long snappers that were playing linebacker and running down on kickoff and everything. I don't know how many. I don't know how many. Is it long snapper or deep snapper? Now I'm
deep snapper. Yeah, deep snapper, long snapper. I mean,
same thing.
Either way, yeah. It's the same person. Yeah. And either way, I think with Kenny Perry, I think you're in a good spot. Either way, as your special teams coordinator, you're going to get somebody in that role that's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Weiss is in Pflugerville. Okay, thank you.
I guess he's replaying like 30.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, that I don't know about deep snapping. I don't know anything about what you got there, but
is Texas Tech the new special teams U? That would be awesome because it was awesome that Kansas State was that for a long time. If you can start blocking kicks and doing all these things, that would be amazing. Any head coaching jobs that we need to hype Kitley up for? I don't know that Austin P. Did they hire somebody yet? Austin P's head coach went to UTEP.
Yeah. Fiery little dude too. He's from Texas. He's from Cleburne. Yeah. Is where that guy's from. So got some Texas High School Coaches Association ties there as well. I think it's a great hire for UTEP, to be honest with you. I think it's the best hire they could have made. Yeah, I don't know if Austin P has hired a guy yet, but I don't see Zach Kitley going from Texas Tech as the offensive coordinator to Austin P taking a pay cut to go be a head coach. I just don't see that happening.
They already named Jeff Ferris.
There you go, Jeff Ferris. Never heard of him. the fact of the matter is people can want Zach Kitley's job all they want, but Zach Kitley's not going anywhere.
The
Just
cheetah. Do you remember the cheetah, Derek Jones?
yeah.
He said, "Congrats to my former player, Jeff Ferris."
Oh, nice. Okay.
Let's see.
And Derek Jones was your safeties coach, your defensive backs coach with Matt Wells a
Yeah,
couple
the
years.
end of the era there.
Yeah. He came from Oklahoma, I believe. That's where he was at before he came to Texas Tech. Yeah.
Derek Jones?
Yeah. Wasn't he on staff at Oklahoma?
I think your previous no. That was the previous safeties coach that he replaced.
Okay.
That
Okay.
I don't remember the name of. He was at Duke.
That's yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was okay. Yeah. I was thinking Vanderbilt was maybe one of those, but yeah. Duke, Vanderbilt, same thing. Smart school.
Yeah, same thing.
Duke's a little bit better at football, but
yeah, I gotta look up Jeff Ferris.
But yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is Zach Kitley, unless something just drastic happens in the bowl game where you just really crap the bed and you get blanked and you don't do anything, you don't move the football, and all of that happens, then Joey, I think, makes a decision. But other than that happening, Zach Kitley's not going anywhere. People are just going to have to come to grips with
People want to dream. They want to dream.
Yeah.
All right, he was a safety at Duke from 2008 to 2011.
Jeff Ferris.
He was our age, yeah, 33. 30. I'm a little older than him. Duke GA, Duke wide receivers coach, Duke wide receivers coach, Duke's tight ends coach from 2018 to 2020, Duke co-OC quarterback coach in 2021. So he's a safety at Duke, and then he starts
coaching at Duke.
Coaching offensive at Duke. He was the UCLA tight ends coach the last 2 seasons, and now he's at Austin Peay. So from tight ends coach to head coach, Jeff Ferris makes the leap.
He's worked under some great head coaches. You just named that list off, and David Cutcliffe's one of those guys in that Duke program. Then Mike Elko got the job. It sounds like he went to UCLA because he didn't get retained by Elko's staff.
Yeah.
Then worked for Chip Kelly. And Chip Kelly, you say what you want about Chip Kelly, and he hasn't been successful since he went to Oregon, and his stay in the NFL didn't work out very well. But Chip Kelly is one of the brightest offensive minds in college football history. What he did at Duke those years, and I mean, not at Duke, at Oregon those years was really, it kind of turned the game a little bit. He took a spread offensive scheme and turned it into a run heavy scheme, which I think you're seeing a ton of that happening. Obviously, the RPO game came from Chip Kelly, a lot of it. So I think Jeff Ferris, that's a name to keep in mind for a lot of people in the college football world. Maybe he's one of the next up and coming young coaches in our football game. I don't know. He's got a good resume though.
What's one position group we should emphasize in the portal this season?
Offensive line.
Offensive line.
Yeah, it's easy.
Offensive line, wide receiver.
Yeah, offensive line, wide receiver. And I think you've done a good job at the tight end position with Jalen Conyers, because he's a big dude. He's a tight end guy, build wise, but he's also fast enough to be able to beat a safety in coverage, to beat, not just a linebacker in coverage on him you feel comfortable with, but you feel comfortable with Jalen Conyers against a safety, comfortable setting him outside in the formation by himself, running a one-on-one route with a cornerback even. I think Jalen Conyers, you like his odds there because he's a fast kid too for his size. It's not like he runs a 4.40, but it's probably close to a 4.5, 4.6 somewhere in there.
Sure, would be nice to move the tight end all over the place. We'll see what that happens.
Yeah, I think he's got the ability to be better than a Jay Samaro was for you in his role, what he did. Don't. I mean, do you not think that's possible? Because
you remember Jay Samaro?
Yeah, I remember Jay Samaro, and I've seen Jalen Conyers play, and I think Jalen Conyers can be just as good if you use him properly. He can be
1,300 yards.
I don't think he's going to get 1,300 yards because you're not going to throw it that much. But I think Jalen Conyers can be a guy that is a game changer for you for sure.
Yeah, but not better than Jason Morrow. Come on. Come on.
I didn't say better, did I?
I
said it could be a guy like Jason Morrow.
You said better than Jason Morrow. Yeah, see, damn, better than Jason? No, he's not better than Jason. Jalen Conyers is going to be the best tight end since Jason Morrow.
Yeah.
We could say that, though. I think he's better than what you've had. How about that? I'm glad Tahj is coming back for his last year. It'll take pressure off Barron and Micah. Just need the O-line to put it all together. We'll see.
You're going to have a lot more than Micah Hudson at the wide receiver position, by the way, too. I mean, you've got Coy Aiken coming back. He's going to be better. Brady Boyd, you're going to see him quite a bit next year, probably, unless something happens. I think that Jordan Brown showed in moments this year that he can be a guy that you can trust and go to in big situations, picking up a first down, making a reception that's big. Dre McCray got a lot better, especially down the stretch. He's a guy that he can be that short Cam Batson. I'm not saying he's going to be as good, but Cam Batson, those kind of guys, those names, you're that short, shifty wide receiver that you like to use, the Jakeem Grant kind of guys that are quick and fast in open space. Dre McCray can be that kind of guy. You can use him in that scenario. So I think those guys take heat and pressure off of Micah Hudson, or Micah Hudson can just be Micah Hudson. He doesn't have to be the only receiver on this offense that you throw the football to. You're going to have plenty of options to throw the football to. Just because you lost 3 or 4 wide receivers in the transfer portal doesn't mean you don't have next guys up. You've got a couple other wide receivers in this recruiting class, especially one from South Oak Cliff, that you could very easily see getting some playing time as well, especially in 4 games as a true freshman. So the future is bright for the receiving crew. I don't think that everybody should just be thinking that Micah Hudson's it and nobody else can do anything. Micah Hudson's really good. I think he's going to be great. I think he has the ability to win a Biletnikoff. He has the ability to change the offensive game, especially with a guy like Tahj Brooks in the backfield who can take some heat off of that. But Micah Hudson,
not win a Biletnikoff.
Micah Hudson. No, I'm not. I say he could win a Biletnikoff later, and he's not going to win as a freshman. No, he won't win it as a sophomore either.
Yeah,
but he's not the end all be all when it comes to the offense. If he doesn't get but 2 catches in one game, that doesn't mean that you're going to lose a game.
Can't wait to see 3 tight ends split out if Tharp Cup come back. Yeah.
You see, I don't know that Baylor Cup can come back.
You just have to believe.
I would love for it if he could come back, man. Because if you gave me the option of having Cup or Tharp back, who would you choose? Would you go with the 6'9" guy or the 6'6" guy? Yeah, I mean, you're going to get, you're going to get plenty of return experience. I mean,
I think Coy
Aiken's your best returner.
I think I'd rather have Baylor Cup back.
I'd rather have Baylor Cup too. But as far as receiving experience comes back, Coy Aiken will probably be your best receiver next year.
So he was a senior this year.
Yeah, Baylor Cup is a senior this year. I don't know how he has another year left.
2020 redshirt freshman.
So there you go. Okay.
So he gets that year back anyways. 2021, 2022, 2023. It's 3 years, right? So he has one more?
Yeah, so he can come back for another year. Yeah. Sweet. Good math.
I can hear Joey now. We have 5 quarterbacks, and we're going to use them all. Yeah, let's lose all the tight ends. I am not against 3 tight ends in one formation.
Especially with
23
the ones you have.
Put Anquan Willis in there at fullback. He's a load. And then there even goes split backs, and then you can use them both, 3 tight ends. Let's get crazy.
If you don't want to run under center too, you can always run out of the pistol. There's no rule saying you have to go under center. Let's see some pistol action next year. That's my favorite formation.
Goes downhill.
Downhill. Yeah, please. Instead of that side step and then go downhill, which Tahj Brooks is really good at. Don't get me wrong, but if you can get Tahj Brooks going downhill, just think how much better that can be as well. I'm a firm believer in if you have a great running back and you want to do all those things, why not use the pistol to your advantage? That's what it's there for. That's what it was created for at the University of Nevada back in, I don't know what year it was, 2005 is whenever we first started seeing the pistol formation for people that didn't want to go under center, which I don't understand that of not going under center. I guess it's to give the quarterback more easily. They can read a defense from behind the line a little bit more. But yeah, if you want to do it that way, use your tight ends in the pistol formation. Come with a tight formation, 2 tight ends on the right and 1 on the left, or switch it back. You can go tackle over 2. I don't care.
Yeah.
But figure out a way to use them if you have them, especially you have Tharp, Cup, and Conyers. Those are 3 great tight ends that you can use. Why not use them all? And I don't want to see 4 wide receivers.
Yeah.
You're inside the 10-yard line. Why not use a formation like that instead of trying to throw the football inside the 10?
We keep saying this, that there's all this stuff on the roster you can do with this offense, and it's just not done generally.
Yeah.
That's why
people want Zach Kelly to leave. Yeah,
I
get it.
No, they want him to improve in his career and go be a head coach somewhere. They don't want him to leave. They want him to improve his career and move on as a head coach.
If he went somewhere else and wasn't a head coach, everybody would be just as happy.
No. I'd love for Zach Kelly to improve his career and move on and be a head coach.
That's funny.
We don't want him to leave. We just want him to be a head coach somewhere else.
If everyone stays healthy next year, do y'all think we have a good shot at a Big 12 championship? It all depends on what your offensive line looks like, man. I keep coming to it, and I'm still just stuck on the offensive line because right now you don't have a complete 5 guys up front that you can trust in. Do you? In your mind, you have 5 guys.
No.
No. Now, what's that going to look like in the? Ask me that question in the fall next year, going into the season. Yeah, and I'll tell you. I can give you a real answer. Right now, no.
Okay, so let's ignore Texas Tech. Who's going to be in the Big 12 championship race next year?
Oklahoma State.
Did you see Alan Bowman was applying for a waiver?
His 8th year senior.
Yeah.
He'll probably get it too.
He'll
get it.
18, yeah.
Yeah, he'll get it. Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, especially if Utah is in the conference section. Arizona was really good towards the end of the year. Fafita is a fantastic quarterback. They're really well coached. Those 2 coming into the league next year don't help you with how good they've been in the last couple of years. Kyle Whittingham's always going to be a team that, especially with Cam Rising coming back, he'll be back next year and playing quarterback for the Utes. And being in the Big 12 is only going to improve their footprint in the state of Texas because he loves to recruit the state of Texas. Kyle Whittingham has always been a recruiter of the state of Texas, and I think he's going to get even better at that with them moving to the Big 12 and playing so many teams here in this area.
Yeah, we'll see how long he does it before he retires.
I don't know. I think he's there for at least 5 more years, which
5
next year. Yeah.
I hope not.
How old is he? 65?
I don't know.
He's around our parents' age.
He was older than I realized when I saw him last.
He's been at Utah for 20-something years.
Yeah, he's 65,
Yeah.
64. Young man.
And with Rocco Becht at Iowa State, he looked really good at the tail end of this thing, and don't count out Kansas and Jalen Daniels coming back next year either. So it's not like that Texas and Oklahoma leaving and Texas Tech being healthy just gives them this great opportunity to be a front runner for the Big 12 championship. I think there's a lot of teams, at least 6 teams that have a feeling that they could compete for a Big 12 championship going into 2024 in the fall because of how good Arizona was towards the tail end of this year. The couple big wins, the USC win was huge for Arizona. They beat Utah. beat Oregon State, who was ranked at the time. Everybody was high on Oregon State at the time. Arizona is going to be really good, and they had a freshman quarterback. He's not going anywhere. So, and you can't forget about Kansas State either. So,
well, we'll see how Kansas State rebounds.
Without a quarterback,
without Colin Klein. Avery Johnson's still there.
Yeah, but what is Avery Johnson without? Can he throw the football? I've never seen Avery Johnson throw the football. He didn't have to against Texas Tech, but
yeah, he threw it. He was like 9 for 9 against Texas Tech.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, ran for 500 yards, whatever it was.
Yeah. I don't think we said Kansas. I don't think it's crazy.
I said Kansas. Jalen Daniels. Yeah, so he'll be back next year.
Yeah. Final bit of business. No, that was a fake. He was fake in the portal. He wasn't really in there. Unless he got in after the fake, Avery Johnson.
Just Will Howard is in the portal.
He's in the portal. No, I think 3 quarterbacks from Kansas State got in the portal. But not Avery Johnson. I think Avery Johnson stayed.
Which other quarterbacks? What Kansas State quarterbacks got in the portal?
2 other backups.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I'd never heard of them.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th string guys.
But their starter is in the portal still.
Will Howard.
Will Howard's still in the portal.
He's going to USC. That's what I saw. That was the quarterback I was trying to think of earlier, which doesn't make any sense.
I read an article earlier today that said Cam Ward is USC is number 1 on his list, but yeah.
Well, that even that Will Howard is being it just didn't make sense for Will Howard to go to.
Yeah.
So people were like, "Oh, he runs well." No, he doesn't.
No. Just ask Texas. They made sure the only thing he could do is run in that 2-point conversion, and it didn't work out well for Kansas State.
No.
Yeah. Is losing Colin Klein a big loss for Kansas State? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He's just so perfect for that team.
Well, I mean, he played.
He knows what it takes at Kansas State.
Yeah,
he knows what kind of athletes there are.
The standards were there with him because he'd been there.
It's kind of that because Kansas State was not good with their first offensive coordinator under
Kleiman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So getting Colin Klein in. All right, last bit of business. Shohei Ohtani, $700 million, which I think is what I said. 10 years, $700 million, up to 800. I thought.
We also said he was going to sign with the Blue Jays,
but to the Dodgers. No,
those are the 2 options.
Months ago, I said $700 million. Not less.
No, you did. You said 700, 750. Yeah.
No, we said the Blue Jays made 0 sense. That people were reporting that he was going to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. The Los Angeles Dodgers made the most sense out of the Dodgers and the Yankees. Made the most sense. The Yankees got Juan Soto, which then told you that Shohei Ohtani was not signing with the Yankees. He was going to sign with the Dodgers. There was never a doubt in my mind that the Los Angeles Dodgers weren't number 1 in the bidding war for Shohei Ohtani. They had the money, they have the backing, they have the roster that he can win a world championship on. And why would you not want the best player to play on one of the best teams in baseball?
And I thought the Rangers were in the mix until I saw the Bally Sports News.
Yeah.
They're out of it. And I don't know that they're going to sign Montgomery or that other pitcher that they're trying to go after. Shohei is getting $200,000 a day for 10 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
Except he's not because it's in California. I think his contract is 10 years, $340 million take home after taxes.
That's insane.
Which is still a bunch of money. But $700 million doesn't go as far as you think it does there.
No, he should have signed that contract in Texas. He'd be taking home Texas, a lot more money.
Or Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have signed for $500 in Texas and paid less in taxes.
I don't know how the taxes work in Canada.
No, me neither. Do they have them?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. They have a terrible prime minister, so I'm sure he takes most of it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So Shohei out of the American League,
which is good, but now you got to figure in Shohei Ohtani and that Dodgers team. They just became, if they weren't the front runners to win the World Series next year, they are now.
Yeah, they'll win 115 games and then lose to the Rockies in the wild cards.
Yeah. Get swept, not just lose, get swept
Yeah.
by the Diamondbacks or the Rockies. Yeah.
Because everyone's worried about one seeds winning ever again. Poor one
And
seed.
it's not like Shohei can pitch next
seeds.
year.
Yeah.
Shohei's probably not going to pitch next year.
No.
Yeah. Like at all. He won't pitch next year.
Did he already have the Tommy John?
Yeah, he had Tommy John like a month ago, right?
Just played through it.
Yeah.
Or did
Well,
he
the
have
the season was over for the Angels in October.
Right. But did he Yeah. I shouldn't remember if he had the surgery or not. Because he didn't have it 1 year.
Yeah, he's definitely had the surgery. If he hasn't, that would be stupid.
Hey man. He should have had it when he tore his UCL the first time.
If he hasn't had the surgery yet, that means that he will not be available for the first few weeks of the season, because you're talking about at least 6 to 7 months before you can do anything. Because whenever I had Tommy John, I couldn't move my arm past here for 2-3 months. And then you have to do the rehab and stretch that ligament out. And it is never will go through that again. After I tore it the second time, no thank you. I'm done. Peace out, baseball.
Angels are stupid for not trading him at the deadline. We said that at the time. You're going to get nothing out of a generational player.
The Angels have cleaned house. I mean, they sent off Max Stassi, Fletcher. They're all gone. The Angels are starting over.
They should trade Trout.
Ron Washington, I don't see them keeping Mike Trout. I don't see Mike Trout wanting to stay in Anaheim before the season starts.
Send him to the Phillies.
I completely think that they will send Mike Trout to somebody that they can get 6 or 7 minor league prospects for.
He's not worth that anymore.
Maybe 4 or 5 and some money.
Yeah. 2 or 3.
He's still worth at least 4. Maybe not 4 top prospects, 2 top prospects and a couple other maybes in there, Robbie. Yeah. Yeah, they missed out on they should have traded Mike Trout 2 years ago and Shohei Ohtani last year at the trade deadline. Yeah, the Angels front office guts to go. They have ran that thing into the ground for sure.
He's 31. Here's the games he's played since 2020. 53, 36, 119, 82.
Yeah.
He's not played a full season, quote unquote, since 2016, his 24-year-old season. He played 140. Wow. That's his most since 2018.
Wow.
Won an MVP with 134 games played in 2019.
It's pretty good.
He batted .263 this year, the worst of his career.
Yeah. I mean,
washed.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, he's been playing in the big league since he was, 19, 20?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's first ballot Hall of Famer since 2011. Yeah. One of the greatest of all time.
That's crazy. You're 31 years old. You could retire today at 31 years of age and be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's in 5 years. By the time you're 37 years old, you'll be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unanimous.
Most people are just getting into their careers, like, actually making money in their careers at that age that he could be in the Hall of Fame if he were to retire tomorrow.
Nelson
he
Cruz
won't.
Debuting at 31.
Yeah, he went home, I think Nelly was like 27 when he debuted. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right. Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers.
Yeah. One last bit of business that I want to get to, say a big congratulations to Wes Kitley. He will be inducted into the National Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association Hall of Fame tomorrow. That goes into effect. So congratulations to Coach Kitley. Obviously, you got the nice contract from Texas Tech as well this past summer. The dude is just a legend. What he's done in the track and field world is just he's one of the best to ever do it, as far as coaching and training athletes and producing and doing those things. And the little dude from rural Texas, man, making it happen in the big city of Lubbock and at Texas Tech University. It doesn't get much better than that for people around here in West Texas. And to see a guy like Wes get this Hall of Fame nod, that's huge, and very, very, very much deserved for Wes Kitley and all the things that he's done over the years. So congrats to him. He's a better human being than he is a track and field coach, and he's a very, very good track and field coach. One of the best.
One of the best. Hey, let's go Wednesday and talk some high school football. How about that?
Oh yeah, state championships are this week. Yeah,
they start on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Works for me. Mitchell Lee's. He's not listening today. I don't think he'll probably watch it back at some point. But his Albany Lions. I mean, sorry, Mitchell. Albany Lions are in the state championship again. So good luck to Albany. They play Thursday, I believe.
They are dominating. I believe Duncan North Shore.
Yeah, Duncanville North Shore
back again.
Another rematch. DeSoto is I don't know who they play in the 6A Division II state championship, but they'll probably boat race whoever it is.
Did you see them stuff South Lake Carroll at the goal line?
Yeah, what a game, right? Did you watch that game?
I thought he got in.
It looked close, and if that would have been a state championship game, they would have reviewed it.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy part. That everybody was saying South Lake Carroll and DeSoto was the state championship. So yeah, more than likely it'll be DeSoto that wins the 6A D2, but would have loved to seen Duncanville and DeSoto play each other again in a state championship, but we don't get that lucky with 6A D1 and 6A D2. But couple 5A Division I and Division II state championships are going to be really good. And then I always like the 4As and down, because the smaller schools you go to, the more it means to communities. South Oak Cliff will probably win another one, 5A. That's a great community. Another state championship for South Oak Cliff would be cool. That's a 5A D2 school, but yeah. And Seth Parr, I know a lot of people around West Texas know that name. He's at Anna. He's only been in Anna for 4 years, but he's in the state championship game with Anna. So West Texas guy from Amarillo, going to make a team in the Metroplex. That's becoming part of the Metroplex. Anna is just north of McKinney, but
it's getting there.
It's becoming a part of the Metroplex slowly but surely. One of the nicest facilities in the state of Texas as well, what they have in Anna.
Duke has a head coach.
Who'd they hire?
Some people just don't learn, man.
David Cutcliffe again?
Manny Diaz.
Oh.
Dude is Wade Phillips. Great.
Hasn't he?
Great defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach.
No.
Not a head coach, man.
Where's he been the last few years? The DC, was he back at Miami?
Penn State.
Oh, Penn State? Okay. I don't keep up with Manny Diaz as well as I used to.
No. After he got fired at Miami. You know, he had a winning record at Miami, 21-15. I would not have guessed that.
He had one good year, and that helped him.
6-7, 8-3, 7-5. 0-2 in bowl games.
Never beat Florida State or Florida.
The Cheez It and the Independence.
Florida, the Gators might be looking for a head coach after next year too. Billy Napier is losing Trevor Etienne. Just they need a quarterback at Florida too.
Yeah, they do. All right, we said final business like 15 minutes ago. So.
We always do that. There's always something else to talk about.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.